This is our top 10 list of the most impressive strongman performances of 2021. So it's been a busy year, Lizzie. We've seen lots of competitions, particularly towards the second half of the year. It's been fast and furious. We could have added loads into this list. There's been so many competitions, so many amazing performances, but we are going to show you our favourite 10. Starting off at number 10, we've got Inez Carrasquillo from the World's Strongest Woman Championships. Just recently took place in Florida at OSG. Inez was a revelation at this competition. We were both super impressed with her. Now, she did a 107 kilo log for 12 repetitions. This is truly impressive stuff. I think she's going to be pushing the likes of Andrea Thompson for the log lift record. Hopefully it lights a fire under Andrea and makes her want to work harder. But Inez was just unbelievable. She didn't end up winning. She made a few sort of mistakes as the contest went on, but watching her log performance was so impressive. Technically really good, loads of power. I'm looking forward to what she can do next year.
So 9th place on our list is Mr. Martins Lichis. I'm trying to say his name correctly.
Sounded pretty good.
Thanks. There or thereabouts. On the Inverstones at the Rogue Invitational, which happened just last month. Now, Martins have been out of action since the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic. We didn't really know what to expect. We knew Martins would come in good shape. We knew Martins was great at stones, but we hadn't seen this event before. There was a tacky-free event. They were allowed a little tacky towel, but it was Inverstone replicas going up in weight. He was, it was between him and Tom Stoltman for the title. Tom Stoltman renowned for his stone lifting abilities, but Martins pipped him to the post by nearly a full 6 seconds in the end.
And what was impressive, he didn't need to win this event. No. And I thought he'd just go out there and just do enough to secure overall victory. But he went out and absolutely smashed it. And I got in a lot of trouble because I put Martins quite high in our list of best athletes, I guess, for 2021. And maybe I got ahead of myself.
You got excited.
He did one competition, probably didn't deserve to be third compared to some of the other guys. But you got to think what he's been through. He's been in a car crash. He's had his appendix out. He's come back from various different injuries.
He had a fight with a goose as well.
Well, there you go. He had a fight with a goose as well. Probably had a kitchen sink thrown at him at some point as well. And he still put on such an incredible performance. I'm very excited to see what he does in 2022. But we were super impressed with that stone performance. I was there doing the commentary. There was a lot of impressive performances that weekend, and his finishing on the stones definitely deserves a place in the top 10 for 2021. So at number 8, we've got Rauno Heinle on the axle deadlift. Now, the axle deadlift has been done many times this year.
Yes, it has.
I know people got fed up of seeing it, but it's a brutal event. There's no flex in the bar at all. And Rauno got the most reps out of anyone this year, hitting 9 reps at Europe's Strongest Man. Unbelievable performance, showing why he is one of the best deadlifters on the planet when he's in shape. Can he come back and get 10 in 2022?
I think if anyone can, Rauno can. You think, oh, he's got a hamstring injury here. You kind of discount him maybe unfairly sometimes. Not you, society. But then he comes in on a deadlift and he never fails to perform.
Yeah, when he's fit and in shape, he is a great strongman. I know we're almost a little biased because we're good friends with him.
Totally biased.
Rauno is actually a really good strongman.
Yeah, he is.
And deadlift particularly, when he's fit and healthy, one of his absolute best events. You think of the guys that have deadlifted this year on that bar. Adam Bishop's been on that bar. Jeff Caron has deadlifted on the axle deadlift. We've had Trey Mitchell, Alexei Novikov, lots of other big performances. Rauno has done the most. So we've got him in our top 10 at number 8.
In 7th place, we have more deadlifts, and this was from the Giants Live Manchester World Open, the deadlift championships this year. Max deadlift, standard bar setup. It was won overall by Ivan Makarov, who pulled 475 kilos. Unfortunately, missed out on the 505. There was a lot of hype for 505 this year. Didn't happen, but Ivan was closest with a 475 good lift.
And it was an incredible lift. And what else was an amazing thing? Or what was amazing about this show was 7 athletes pulled 1,000 pounds. 7 guys in one show pulled 1,000 pounds or more, which is just amazing. It shows the whole improvement in depth and the standard of the sport, and I don't think it's long until we see 505 go. So next up, we're going back to the Rogue Invitational again. I said a number of impressive performances that weekend, and we're going to the medley, the yoke into the log lift. Now, the actual weights on their own aren't the most impressive. We had about 1,000 pound yoke and a 163 kilo log lift. On their own, not the most challenging of events, but putting them together, it really created a different element for the guys to think of. They had to really think about what shoes to use. Normally you go with the Olympic lifting shoes on the log, more of a trainer / kind of walking shoe on the yoke. This one, you really had to kind of get through the yoke without exerting too much energy, and it was about speed as well. And what was impressive was Kiliashkovsky.
Yeah.
You know, we always know how good he is in things like yokes, but it was the way he came back and one motioned the logs. I really didn't expect that, although I've seen him do it in the past.
Yeah.
He's come back from, I think now 3 or 4 surgeries on his tricep. He's very scared of it, and he even said to me before the competition, no, I'm not going to do it. But the heat of competition, it made him fired up, and it made him put on an incredible performance. Pushed hard by many of the guys. I mean, Lisses wasn't that far behind, but it was the way he transitioned from the yoke into the log, and he one-motioned each of those reps. It was exciting to watch, and it was an amazing performance. It's just amazing to see him back, hopefully to his best.
Yeah, it was one of the few, that and one other, which I won't go into just yet, but it was one of the few events this year that has made me shout. And like, I think I was jumping on the side, like, come on, you know.
When a moment sort of gets you excited and you're impressed, especially when we see as much strongman as we do.
Yeah, it's nice to feel that way.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can get a little bit desensitized, I guess.
Yeah, you can indeed. It takes a lot for me to go, wow, that was impressive.
Yeah.
But that definitely was one of the moments.
So number 5 is something a little bit different. It was Loz's Dinnie Stone world record. Now, we went to Potage where the Stones live, and just like many hundreds, many thousands of people before Loz have gone just to pick up the stones.
I don't think thousands have picked them up, but...
Well, maybe they've tried.
They've tried. Oh, thousands have tried, for sure.
Yeah, tried and failed. So Loz went along to pick up the Stones Farmer walk style with the intention of maybe walking a couple of steps if you felt comfortable doing so. You did a few steps, and I think at first it was 9 foot something you walked them. We had quite special company for this. Jack Shanks was there, who was the first man to lift the Dinnie Stones after they were rediscovered. Brett Nicol, the guy who's lifted them the most times. Mark Haydock, who'd done the longest unassisted hold with the Dinnie Stones. It was an all-star cast. The only person actually who probably wasn't there was Brian Shaw, who was the record holder at the time for the longest continuous unassisted walks. That's without stopping and without straps. Now, Brian's record was 11 foot 6.5 inches, which he did on The Strongest Man in History. Now, you were kind of spurred on, weren't you, by Jack and the gang? They really wanted you to have another go at it.
It's the first time I had felt that sort of adrenaline rush that I used to feel.
Yeah.
It was, I lost a bit of the spark as the years have kind of gone on, and you get injuries and stuff like that. But just being in that atmosphere, having those people around me and willing me to do it again, I just felt that tingling inside. I was like, I can do this.
Little tingle. And you did do it. So you carried the stones 14 feet 10 inches, which is 3 foot shy of the full width of the bridge. Now, the reason I've put this on this list is because we've had other great strongmen attempt this in the past and not come anywhere close to it. So on the History Channel, Robert Oberst did 2 feet 8 inches. Nick Best, who has incredible grip, did 3 feet 7.5 inches. And Eddie Hall did 6 feet 10.75 inches. So you're 14 feet 10 inches. It was quite special, Lottie.
You've not often said that to me before. Sorry. It was just an amazing moment. I did the Royal Albert Hall show 2 weeks before.
Yeah, something
so
like
I trained
that.
for that, and I felt good and strong at the time, and we went up to Scotland. And just the being around the people, being around the atmosphere, it just brought something out of me. And it's actually motivated me. I want to go the whole distance of the bridge. That's my next goal. I'm going to train to do it in 2022. So hopefully I can be in this video again. So number 4, we are back to the women again. And this time we are looking at Lucy Underdown, who successfully deadlifted 300 kilos this year, which is just an incredible, huge weight. When you think about what weights are used in strongman competitions, 300 kilos lifted by a woman, unbelievable performance. And not only that, she's not actually been in the sport that long as well. No. So I'm sure 2022 she may be chasing 700 pounds.
Now this is sort of crunch time and where it got quite tricky. And I think these top 3 could have been in any order. And in third place, we've put in Iron Bibi's log lift world record, 229 kilos that he lifted in Glasgow at the World Tour Finals this year. Now, a bit of background, he was supposed to do it as a guest lifter at Europe's Strongest Man. However, he had an absolute disaster with trying to travel over. So everyone said they were happy for him to have an attempt on his own at the Glasgow show. Now, this is a record that has stood. Zydrunas has held the log lift record since 2004 when he took it off Raymond Bugmanas, and no one else in that time, no matter what some people might say, no one else has held it since. There's varying opinions about this lift, unfortunately, and I feel bad because Iron Bibi is such a great guy, and I truly believe Iron Bibi is good for this record and this lift. However, there have been, there's a lot of debate online. Was his left arm locked out? And from Zydrunas himself as well. But Zydrunas says, I'm not the referee. It's not for me to say. So, there's a slight cloud over it, which is a shame.
Absolutely. And I think he's going to come back and solidify it with a solid 230. I mean, unless you're the referee, it's hard to tell from different angles and stuff like that. So it looked like a good lift from what I've seen. No better and no worse than some of the other records that I've seen. So that's the only thing I will say.
Yeah.
If we look back through every single record, we can pick apart things a little bit.
Course
so I think Iron Bibi did really well. He took a record that has lasted for so long. Zydrunas, no one can ever take away how great a presser he was, but eventually records get broken, and Iron Bibi was the man to do it. We've had many people attempt it, many people try, many great, powerful men, and he's the first one that's managed to beat it.
So in second place, back to the Rogue Invitational, we have Alexei Novikov's Sear Dumbbell Medley. Now this one got me excited. 5 dumbbells ranging from 115 to 136 kilos with one arm. This is a single-handed lift.
And doing it as part of a medley as well.
Yes.
That's impressive. Doing it just on its own is incredibly impressive. But to do it after doing, I think it was 5 dumbbells?
It was 5 in total. Now, Alexei was the only person to do 5. Second place was Martins, who did 3 in the fastest to 3. Most guys did 1 or 2. But Alexei absolutely dominated this event and is honestly one of the greatest feats of strength I think I've ever seen.
Absolutely unbelievable. And he could have gone even better. You actually remember watching it, he made a slight mistake on one of them. So he could do it even quicker. You have to look at who's in the competition, how everyone else did. He was just so far ahead of the rest in that event. And finally, at number 1, we've got Iron Bibi again with the Axel world record. Now, we mentioned earlier about his log lift, and the log lift was actually a bigger number. But the Axel was the first... It was the first big competition we had back in live events in the UK. It was at the Royal Albert Hall. And the impressive thing was with this lift is that he had failed it twice.
Yeah.
Now, when you see someone fail, like we did, you don't expect anyone to get it. We actually went off into the back. All the athletes did. None of us. We were like,
we didn't see it. No.
We didn't know what was going on out the front. I wish we did, because I would have loved to have seen it.
Same.
With my eyes live there. But he went back for that 3rd attempt. Now you can say what you want. He shouldn't have been allowed a 3rd attempt and all this kind of stuff. To successfully lift something after previously failing twice, not only is that require great physical strength, it requires great mental strength as well. Because normally when you fail something, it kind of lays this seed of doubt in your head that I can't do it. Now sometimes you can kind of correct things with a bit of a technical mistake, but to fail it twice, you're now starting to feel physically exhausted as well, and mentally in your head you're like, there's no way I can do this. I've failed twice. If it was me, I hate failing lifts. I want to kind of build that confidence and know that I've got it in me. If to come back and fail a lift twice and then go and break the world record, absolutely incredible performance by Iron Bibi. I've said I want to see him in full competitions now.
Yeah, definitely.
Focusing on everything, because he's not just an overhead specialist. He's actually a really good all-round strongman, and I think he's more than capable of winning full shows. But he broke 2 world records this year. No one can take that away from him, and he gets to number 1. on our list.
So as we said, it was really hard to whittle it down to just 10 performances. You know, there were so many honourable mentions. You've already touched upon all the guys that did £1,000 at the Deadlift World Championships this year. We had Nick Canby break
amazing performances.
What was it?
Axel world record in the
189 kilos for an under 105 strongman. That's absolutely crazy. Maxime Boudreau, I wanted to put in Maxime's bag over bar from the Shore Classic. Yeah. He did 8 bags 30 seconds quicker than second place, which was Brian Shaw. So there's been so many amazing performances this year.
We've been to so many events, seen so many incredible things. Let us know your favourites, guys. Whether it's the heavyweights, the lighter weight classes, the men, the women, whatever it might be, we want to hear what's impressed you in 2021. While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.